I had a dream, vision, very, very vivid, whereby my sisters were here with me. Two of my 5 sisters. One had passed away already, the one that passed away 3 years ago. She was with me and her son and daughter. And there's another one also, still alive, was here, the number 4. So I saw suddenly, I became aware that there were a machine outside here. It's a 10-story high, okay, and I saw it going up, stretching up, getting higher and higher until it reached here, and it released a lot and lot of like smoke, black, really black fuel. It was polluting all over, that it started to come inside the house. So I complained. I thought it was something to do with the government, so I complained. I say they shouldn't do this because it's polluting the air and it's a very toxic gas. So later, I talked to my sister, to the son who passed away, that there's something around the house that I feel that they should leave the house. She didn't care. She and the other didn't care. And before I knew, I saw a being here. Okay, he was here, then after that he started to walk inside. By then I started to go inside the room because I was a bit frightened. I went inside the room, I locked the door, but somehow the door couldn't open up, couldn't close. And the cat was very frightened. The black cat wanted to get in, but she couldn't. Somehow she couldn't. And when I opened up the door to bring her in, she kind of like dematerialized. She became just like a very, some kind of, I don't know how to say it, like a ghost. You know, that I cannot touch it. She became a ghost and I couldn't touch it. So before I knew, he came inside. He wants to talk to my sister. I saw him talk to my sister, the sister who is still alive. I saw him talking to her. I couldn't make up what they were talking about. And then he went to the kitchen, talked to another sister. And later I'm gonna tell you my turn when he came inside the room to talk to me. Stood here and he talked to my sister in this room. He stood here and he talked to my sister. Então aquele ser, ele ficou aqui e ele conversava com a minha irmã aqui. After waking up, after 5 minutes of waking up, I started to have a pain, a very like searing, kind of searing, scratching, very painful pain in my pineal glands and the heart, down to the heart, and that it aches a lot. I have to do something to stop it because it started to ache. Usually this is if you are not being choked by something, it means that you are being under attack. So you need to protect yourself. So the being that I've seen was like this, but his face was a bit smaller, of course. His nose was longer. He had this expression, especially so when he saw me. He was very delicate, very, very nice man. He wore a swimming trunk and he was naked here. He was bigger than that, around 400 pounds, more than 200 kg, and he was more or less 5'6" feet tall. 1 meter and a 68, 69, around this range. So he was more like this, okay? He was kind of like this. On that his face, I draw very retarded here. I cannot draw very well. His arms was bigger because he was very, how to say, stocky. He was stocky man, like those, you know, the Asiatic people from the tribe, like the Americans Asiatic. It's quite big, like this, all square and stocky. He was around this height in the almost 400 lbs. And what more intrigue about this man was that he had one gelatinous thing, like, you know, a bunch of frog eggs around his torso here. Walked to see him. It was attached to his trunk, and it moved. It was very gelatinous and a light pink in color. There was an eyes, a nose, and a mouth. I don't know, it was looked like some amphibian. The way how he walked, it was like an amphibian. His gaze was very, it was very strange walk. He didn't walk like a common man, an ordinary man. The way he walked, it was more like he was having something on his pants and he could walk. Or he was wearing a bodysuit. You know the way how people walk when they have a bodysuit? So laborious like that. And perhaps he was wearing a bodysuit. And the machine I saw was very high, about 10-story high. Ten-story high machine. I tried to draw, but it was not like quite like this, but I tried. It was like something like this. There is a blocks on top of blocks, dark color, and I shoot up all the way up, and I could stand even higher up to the sky. However, there were a lot of smoke, black smoke, perhaps from the fuel releasing from on top, which I replied, oh my god, this thing gonna pollute the air. And the smoke was coming inside the house, and it means there were my 4th older sister and my 5th older sister who had passed away 2 years ago. 2 years, no, 3 years ago. So one was inside the kitchen, another one inside the bedroom. So this machine, it started to come inside, try to come close to that window over there. See that window? It came close to the window, it came in and then retracted back. Come in, retracted back. Come in, retracted back. A tentacle appears, a tentacle, and this tentacle will come to the window and go back. Come in, go back. And each time I would really become very anxious. I was scared. I cannot deny it. I was scared. And it came in and go back, came in and go back, until finally the being that was in it came out. And I don't know how he went through that gaps there. I don't know how he made, how that the man could come in inside there through the window. In that I've seen, he came to the door, he pushed the door. I tried to close, but he pushed. The cat was outside. The cat was very frightened, and the cat kind of is split into two between how to call ethereal light body and the physical body. I want to bring her in, but somehow she couldn't. I don't know what happened to her. And then he came here, and I was here against the wardrobe. I was leaning against the wardrobe, and he kind of telling me, "Hello, how are you? You are well known in another part of the world. Everybody knows you there. We all know who you are, and you're gonna become very famous." And then he came close to me like this. You see, he came close to me, and I kind of like very a bit frightened. Didn't say anything, just stare at him, and he kind of rubbed my shoulder, like he's looking for something, like I take some inoculation jab or what, and he tried to find, and I rub my shoulder like this here, rub my shoulder, rub his hand, his whole palm, and later he come closer yet, and then he rubbed my hips here. He rubbed my hips, and then he rubbed my hips with his body. God, he came very close to me. Then I tried to push him, but I couldn't. I was so perplexed that I couldn't push him. I wanted to ask him, "Where you come from?" I asked him my mind, and then he kind of don't answer. Then I come out. I come back from trance. I come to my real self. That's what happened. It was a very strange dream. I think he was a amphibian man. Jasper. É linda essa Jasper. Isso aqui é obsidiana. 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 Aqui, mas não é pura. Lapis lazuli, tiger eyes is this one. This one is white aragonite. Where's the rose quartz? Tá tudo all jumbled up. This one is rose quartz. Granite, howlite, moonite. Eu vou limpar tudo daqui. Black obsidian. Eu vou limpá-las.